Hi, I'm Charlotte Davis and I run Fit to Learn, and we specialize in showing people how to be really fit so they can learn and enjoy life calmly. And I'd just like to quickly take you through the latest video from Department of Health, which left me very worried. And it's about children's health and it's promoting Joe Wicks's health program. And I think that we should be concerned as a nation. So it's entitled Fit for the Future, a 10-year health plan for England. And part of that is to encourage children to do physical fitness with Joe Wicks. The introduction to it comes in a video from the minister, and he's chatting to two children. The problem for me is when I look at those children, I can see how their motor skills haven't developed particularly well. And particularly in the boy, I can see that he's wrapping his legs around the legs for the chair. And that tells me we've got a problem with retained primitive reflexes. Those are automatic muscle movements a baby makes in early infancy. And as a child learns to crawl, they should gain conscious control of their motor skills and integrate the primitive reflexes. They shouldn't make automatic muscle movements. When they've still got them, you start seeing all sorts of odd gestures like the wrapping the legs round the chair legs, and you know there is an issue. And if we go on to the next slide, we get movement around the jaw, and that's called overflow around the jaw. And that is telling me I've got a problem with left and right sides of the body talking to each other. Might not look much to our Minister for Health, but it's a really important issue. And when we're thinking about a fitness programme for children, we ought to be sorting these issues out, not just jumping about. He goes on to talk to two other children, and I can see postural control issues. The girl is crossing her legs. When a child crosses their legs, they're destabilizing their postural control. That impacts on their vision, as do retained primitive reflexes. I'm concerned. I am concerned about the children I'm seeing in this video, and I don't think their motor skills development is particularly spectacular, and they need a really good motor skills program to support them to the highest level. But what they're going to get is a very busy, chaotic program that goes too fast. Even the speech is too fast for small children to process. And then if you look at what the children are doing, it is chaotic. They are not learning really conscious control of their movements. They're not learning to self-regulate. And that isn't a lot of use. It might be okay for cardio if the children are willing to engage. But what you'll find is that as the children have problems, they become more embarrassed of those sorts of movements. They want to look cool. They want to look like they can do the movements properly. And good movement doesn't happen by magic. We need a proper program that builds in developmental order. And it's just not there. And we need a decent environment so the speech isn't too fast, it's not all crazy and chaotic, and supportive adults who really understand child development. And I'm sorry, it's not there. And there are lots of other things that are important when you're looking at videos. So rhythm is really important. Interactive metronome have done a lot of research. They recommend 54 beats a minute. Joe Wicks's videos are way over that. 54 beats a minute is the nice pace in which you can learn a new skill and maintain your old ones. Very sensible if you're a learning, developing child. Feet are really important. It's really important we get the arches to rise and they work with the feet. There are lots of other things that we ought to be thinking about. Aligning the skeleton. Far too many modern children have got bent, curved backs. We want the shoulders back properly. We want a nice J-shaped spine. We're not seeing them. Things like nasal breathing, getting all the children to breathe properly. Lots and lots of our children breathe through their mouths and can't breathe through their noses. It's really important. Getting children to learn how to think positively and keep a really coherent heart rate is another important process. And things like sound processing. This is the inner ear diagram here. And the inner ear, the semicircular canals link to balance, they link to motor skills, they link to our understanding of where we are in space. We have got links to our optic nerves, we've got links to our facial muscles. So our inner ear is helping us with all aspects of social engagement, as well as working on all the sound aspects. So really important for how we operate in the world. And finally, getting the eyes moving in the head and getting them to converge and diverge well, so we've got good binocular vision. Both eyes are sending equal messages to the brain, so the brain can do the seeing. There's a lot we need to do to support developing humans, and I'm sorry, I don't think that the Department of Health video is helping. So yeah, okay, it's okay for cardio if children will participate, and not all are going to, and over the long term, any child that struggles will start dropping away. We need to make all children fit to learn so they can move all aspects of their body efficiently and calmly. But Fit to Learn, we have a website where there's a lot of free information if you register. If you want more information from me, you can always drop me an email. And we have a YouTube channel, again, with a lot of free information. Please, let's make the children in our country fit to learn, because there is no way we're doing that at the moment. Thank you for listening.